I would say that, you know, a lot of Europeans don't understand America, just as we don't understand Europe. I think the misconception, or it's not a misconception so much, it's just they don't know. America's just a huge place. It's a very, very huge place, and there's a lot of different dynamics that go on, from Florida to LA to New York to Seattle, and it makes it a really incredible place, but there's a lot going on here that doesn't really get seen by the world outside. I publish Herb magazine out of Los Angeles. I've been doing that for about 9 years now. I came up to the scene from graffiti artist, hip hop, into early raves, and basically here I am. Herb is a chronicle and a magazine that celebrates the underground culture, dance music, rave scene, hip hop culture, DJ culture, and all the art and particulars that come along with that. And we started when there wasn't much of a scene to speak of. We started when it was pretty much, there was like a tiny rave scene in Los Angeles, so we kind of came from that perspective. First issue was December of '90. Started with the idea in May of '90. The main motivation for starting Herb was that being an active participant in the music culture and in the underground scene, I really didn't see anything being covered or covering it, you know, in an intelligent way, with good graphic presentation, and with just you know, what I thought the kind of credibility that it needed. We've grown to encompass what we consider a global scene now. Science is our weekly drum and bass club, Jungle Club. We've been doing it for about 2 years, a couple months now. It's hardcore, straight, unwatered down, non-filtered jungle. No like drum and bass. It's like jungle. It's good. And it was started as basically nothing more than just a place where we can go and spin good jungle. It wasn't a weekly place where you could hear good jungle when we started it. When we started it, it's like there were so many good records coming out. There was such a good amount of music coming out, but you had to like either go to a rave or go to a special event to really hear DJs, you know, playing that stuff. And when we started the club, the whole goal, even if we just only got like 50 or 60 people there a night, the whole goal was so that we could like have a home for playing the music, you know? Just like the way we started the magazine was just so we can have a voice for like the scene. We started the club so we can have an outlet for the music. And just like with the magazine, when the club took off, you know, and people were like, yeah, we wanted something like that. And instead of getting 50 people on it the first time, we got 150 people. This has been solid since then. And another thing we did along the way is we brought in a lot of people for the first time in the West, you know, for the West Coast, and some for the country, as far as jungle artists from the UK. And because I think up until that point, there wasn't a lot of promoters didn't really have the resources or know-how on how to get somebody over here, and the bigger promoters that had the money or resources didn't give a shit.
We are trying to wind your waist. No bass, no bass.
I started DJing in 1987. I was always into listening to hip hop DJs. You know, didn't listen to house DJs obviously back then, but I started listening to hip hop DJs in the mid 80s. You know, 84, 85, 86. Listening to like mixed shows and stuff. And then when I got into college, I had a friend. Finally, I had a friend with turntables. You know, and I used to go over to his house every afternoon and just mix the hell out of LL Cool J and, you know, Ice-T and any late 80s hip hop I could get my hands on. Started buying up stuff, and I'd make tapes. And they were awful, but they were great at the same time, you know. And I just started growing up from there. Eventually got my own turntables in whatever, 89, and pretty much came into my own about, I would say, 4 years ago when I really started honing into really strictly playing drum and bass. LA has a certain infrastructure to how it works that is unique. Like any city has that. Obviously, England has its own infrastructure, but LA has an infrastructure there's certain elements here that are prevalent that make the scene unique. A, you have to drive. B, the way young kids are. A lot of gangs in this city, and it factors into just kind of the city tends to have. People just tend to be a little harder, or they tend to have a little bit of more of a harder edge to their attitude because of growing up, or within a neighborhood or adjacent to a neighborhood that had like gang violence. People are a little more. They're quicker to understand violent tendencies, like in their neighbors or fellow ravers. That's something you really can't shake in this city. And whenever the scene evolves and brings in new people, you always have people coming from communities where it might have been like, might have been gangs in their areas or something like that. So that's one thing that's like unique to LA. Nothing else is like that. I'd say that there's a very multicultural scene here, where you wouldn't necessarily have that in England. Large majority of the scene, or even in other states. LA has like so many like Latina and Asian kids that you don't really find in a lot of other places. So that one's where it's pretty incredible the amount of mix that there is here. Other cities are cities of how things used to be. The reason that New York and England work in a certain way is because you've got a certain infrastructure that's like conducive to like clubs. You've got pubs, you've got people used to like going out. You've got like the city center is always there in those cities. You've got people who come to the city center and exchange ideas. LA is spread out, which is the way cities are becoming, urban sprawl. You've got people living in the valley, people living on the beaches, people living in East LA. They're all spread around. You don't have really a center, first of all. You don't really have an infrastructure that's built around clubs and buildings and stuff. It's built around just neighborhoods and everything. So all those things make it more difficult in a way for the scene to like explode the way it has, but it also is a blueprint for really how the future of the world is going. Things are really becoming much more of a spread out place, and the multiculturalism that's prevalent in this city, it's not so homogenized like it is in other places of the world. That's also really like a blueprint for how things are becoming. So I think all those things factor into, what makes the scene unique. LA is the city of the future.
With a maximum concentration, last time at the peak, under the science moniker, man of fire on Science, her magazine.